Don't you know that you're a grown-up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown-up.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Gen X Grown Up, another live stream. I'm John. That's George over there. We're Gen X Grown Ups.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, were we talking about in the chat before? Be here all night. That was not in the plan. Being here all night.
What do you mean?
that was
be.
not in my contract. We are going to take a look at some Buck Rogers goodness. So Buck Rogers had a video game that somehow was based on Buck Rogers loosely. He doesn't actually appear in the game, but there's all kinds of Buck Rogers in it. Some outer space action. And George, why are we taking a look at Buck Rogers stuff today? Oh, I don't hear you, George. Oh, I don't hear you, George. I don't hear you. You got real quiet. Oh, you're fine. You're totally fine. Yep.
Now, how about now?
Got it. Now? Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I hit the wrong button.
Careful.
Because I'm used to the 1980s buttons in the Buck Rogers TV show.
Yeah.
These are a lot smaller, and they don't have big red thing on.
Gotcha.
Now, so we're looking at this because we have had a video that has just lost its damn mind on our YouTube channel, right?
Yep.
It's something like 25,000 views at this point in
Yep.
like a 72-hour window. It's a Gil Gerard interview that we did at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
And
yep.
man, I mean, Gil Gerard was super nice. We had some trouble getting the interview set up, so he invited us up to the VIP lounge where we did the interview. And you'll also notice if you watch the video that there's a second person that he had there with it that people have commented on.
Oh, people will notice.
Not with us, but she was really nice. Gil was super great. We're hoping to work out some stuff for some future interviews as well, coming to his house there in Atlanta, and hopefully with Aaron Gray as well. So, yeah, we figured why not do a Buck Rogers video game?
Yeah, but you know what? You know what they say about the old YouTube algorithm? You got to feed the beast.
Yeah, right.
But, and MC Murr's in the chat too, but we've talked about before with him, it's like you got to feed that beast, but it's also, you want to make sure you're doing something that you want to do, that you enjoy. You don't want to just, what's the next random thing that someone might watch? And at Gen X Grown Up, we've never done that. But playing a Buck Rogers video game, no problem. I'm down for that.
Right.
And so you're going to do something. Why not do something that has some interest? So what do you want to do first? Should we just jump in and take a look at the arcade game, George? Shall we get started?
Yeah, I think so. Let's go ahead. We've got 3 different versions that we're going to take a look at tonight, right?
Good point. Yeah.
What else have we got?
With the original arcade, as you said, and me being an Atari dork from way back, we're going to take a look at the Atari 2600 version of this game.
Oh, makes sense, right?
And then we'll take a look at the one that I played the most. Actually, more, I don't know if I ever played the arcade version before I got older, but the one I played the most was the computer version, Atari 8-bit computer.
Oh, okay. Because you were big on the Atari 8-bit computer.
I was, yep. That was my jam for the longest time.
Right.
So
I was more in the C64 camp, which this got released on that as well.
It did,
Vic
sure.
20.
Yep.
There was even like a ZX Spectrum release. I mean, this thing got released over tons of platforms.
Yep. All right. So
I don't feel like doing them all tonight. So
I say we throw some money in this thing. So
and some quarters.
There's a coin.
Bing, bing.
And let's see. There's the spaceship. We're cooking.
Nice.
So, interesting thing about it, I will say, is first, I guess I'm doing they come up from behind me. I'm doing a trench run. There's several different levels to look at. But not only the unique thing about the arcade game, other than of course it looks better than all the others, is that I can move up and down. I can move left and right. But also, there was a gear shifty speed thing, so I can adjust my speed. Now, in this version, I have that on a button, and I'm dying rapidly. But I have a button where I can adjust my speed, and if you go fast, they can't come up from behind you. But it's harder to dodge things coming at you. If you go slow, it's easier to dodge things. Luckily, there's a continue on this, I think, because I just fucking ate that.
Well, I mean, it's also, too, it's kind of like a cross between future game. Well, I don't know. Did Zaxxon come out before this? After this, I think, right?
Zaxxon was after. This is 82. You're right. Zaxxon is later. It is kind of a No, Zaxxon was before this.
Okay.
But this is very much kind of like a 3D version of Zaxxon. This later kind of turned into, made by Sega. It later kind of turned into Space Harrier.
And Star Fox later on,
yeah,
right?
and Afterburner used this engine as well.
Oh, Afterburner, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, now that screen there where you've got the parallel green and blue lines.
Yep.
That reminds me of that episode I was talking to you about earlier.
Okay, of Buck Rogers.
Yeah,
Whoa,
Buck Rogers'
walls.
25th Century
Look at that.
Olympiad.
So here's an example of why I need to put the speed lower because there's walls to dodge, and I'm not doing a great job of it, but that's okay.
They're ow!
Yep.
So I'm on a little bit of delay, so I'm reacting.
Yeah.
probably
Yep.
late,
Yep.
but That's okay because it's still fun as hell to watch you crash.
Well, we did Fix It Felix the other day with Mo, and Mo said the great thing about being on a little delay in the live chat is that he hears me go, "Oh no!" and then he gets to pay close attention and watch me bite it.
Exactly.
So he knows it's coming. He's like, "Oh, I could just enjoy your pain."
All the anticipation of watching you fail is like ecstasy to those of us you've crushed in video games for the last 30
Well, I'm
years.
glad I can bring you some small amount of joy. The great
It's not a small amount.
And I could just keep pumping quarters in this, which is great. We keep seeing more of the screen. But the overall goal of these levels is you can see at the top of the screen there's a UFO count, right? And this holds true to all the games versions we're going to play. The goal is not so much a score or a destination, it's to accomplish all of the UFO count.
You're trying to kill those UFOs, I guess, then?
Yeah, but you can achieve it by, you can kill the UFOs, or you can go through those pylons, or you can cross between those walls. There are lots of ways to do it. And now I'm on the boss battle.
Stu Baca says it's almost like instant replay. I think he's referring to me getting to hear you say it. It is, Stu.
Killing the boss. Try to kill this boss.
Look, you're not going to do that. There's no way.
I'm working on it.
They got you.
Yeah, but I
You got one more?
boom!
How do you get...
Dead boss. Nice play. Go on, Buck.
Wow.
Oh,
Look
Jesus.
at that.
Now I'm going too fast for the... It's okay.
Hey, for those of you in the live stream, I've got 5 thumbs up, but 7 people watching. So those numbers don't add up. Thumbs up.
No peer pressure or anything.
No hell with that. I want peer pressure. I want thumbs up.
Ooh, so in outer space, I can go up and down a little better. I can go higher and lower than I could.
That makes sense.
When
you
you're,
don't have a ceiling
when you're on the
above
ground, you can just kind of go like about 10 foot in the air.
you. And you're still killing UFOs, it looks like.
Yeah, that's the overall goal always. I don't know if the mines count. Well, I don't know if you count when you run into them or not, but...
I'm sure they count when you run into them like that.
Oh, another boss. Oh, no, he took off. Now, you'll notice what's not on this screen. Look at a video game that you know, any arcade game. What's not on this screen?
A score.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So, interesting thing about the Buck Rogers game by Sega, the score was not on screen. They had an LCD readout that showed you your score.
Oh, that makes sense. Look at Stu Baca. It's cool. Everyone's doing it. About peer pressure, I'm guessing.
Just thumbs up. Everybody's doing all the
now
cool
this little
kids.
segment right here, this looks a little bit like a combination between Gyrus and Galaga, right? It's
A bit,
ship-
yeah. And especially like a Galaga 88 even, too.
motion.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Galaga 88.
And that
good point.
parallax kind of motion. There, so I got all the UFOs. All right, so pylons. So you'll notice when the pylons, when I fly through them, that also counts as UFO. It's kind of a nebulous term.
Oh.
But so essentially, you have to do X number of the things you're supposed to do. They can be
Right,
UFOs,
so
they
it's
can
like
be
a follow
pylons.
course, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you get
So-
through the level.
I was talking a little bit about that episode, that Buck Rogers 25th Century episode. It's called
Battlestar,
Olympiad.
blasphemer.
I know. But in it, Buck Rogers, he gets invited to the 2492 Olympiad, and there's a couple of Olympic athletes from different cultures that they're in love, but it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet situation where their cultures won't allow them to be together.
Okay.
So they want to defect. They want to get away and defect and come to Earth because Earth is free and everybody happy, peace, love, all that kind of stuff.
Earth's the cool place.
And-
It's where the cool kids go.
Yeah. So Buck Rogers is there, and he wants to help them. At first there's some jealousy between him and the boyfriend because he thinks, well, it's Gil Gerard. He's going to steal my woman.
Rightfully so.
The interesting thing,
Gil was quite a stud back then.
he was. He still is. I mean, hell.
Your call.
The one thing the reason why it brought that episode to mind is the girl in that episode, she races on a bobsled style spaceship out in space.
Is a pod racer? Phantom Menace?
It's kind of like that, but it's the same kind of design and shape that you have of this ship. So I'm guessing that the guys creating the video game, which came out a couple years after that episode, they must have seen that episode and based the design of the ship on that. And
boss level.
One level that you had earlier with all the lines where they were on the top and the bottom coming at you like they are right now, that's reminiscent of one of the scenes in that episode.
Oh, I just realized what I was dying by. After you knock the engine off that ship, the engine comes flying at you. I was still sitting there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was knocking it. I thought it would blow up, but it actually... Oh, wall! Oh, Jesus! Oh, God!
Crap! Stubaka's phone is dying. Somebody get out and give him some money or battery or something.
Get him some juice.
He says he's coming right back. All right, Stu, we'll see you when you get back.
Oh, man. You go too fast on these wall levels, and it's just a killer.
I want to know from everybody in the chat right now, how many people have actually played this game or seen it in the arcade before tonight, or in any form or fashion before tonight? Anybody out there?
While we're waiting for that, I'll start. I don't think I've ever seen this in the flesh in the arcade. Of course, I told you I played it on my computer,
right?
But I don't think I ever saw this in the arcade. How about you?
I don't think I did. I played it on the C64 was the version I remember. But yeah, I don't think I saw it or played it anywhere else. I don't remember playing it. Did it come out on the Amiga?
It did. There was an Amiga version. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I even played it there though. I think it was.
No,
just...
I don't remember playing it there. I mean, I definitely remember playing Space Harrier, which is the same engine from Sega.
Right.
Ouch. See, if you go too slow, I was going 23 and they sneak up behind you. God! This thing...
And that was a big thing, too. Sega just had a ton of these games, right? I mean...
This thing had to be a quarter sucker, because it's very unforgiving. Oh, is it unforgiving?
I wonder what kind of controls were on the arcade cabinet. I'm going to look up and see...
Okay, yeah.
Visual of the arcade cabinet.
I will say the gameplay is a little samey. I think the goal really... This is literally a master class high score thing. So okay, I think I had a lever thing for speed, didn't it? And have like a gear shifty lever?
Well, I'm looking at it right now. The first one I find, first of all, it had a full sit-down version, so kind of
I do. Yeah, I saw that once, yeah. I mean, not in person, but online.
The stand-up looks more like Zaxxon controls, where it's got the joystick, yaw stick in the middle, and then it appears to have 5 red buttons. I'm guessing a couple of them are probably player 1, player 2. No, there's player 1, player 2 on the front of it.
So yeah, I'm doing speed with a speed up, speed down. So I always figured it must have had a gear, like a lever instead, like Spy Hunter, like high gear, low gear. I would figure. Oh, back another boss battle.
Wow. So the sit down had a gas pedal.
Oh really?
Yeah.
In a spaceship?
In a spaceship, a gas pedal with a 2-handed joystick control.
That does not make sense.
That's all that was in the sit-down. I'm going to look to see if I can find a close-up of the stand-up cabinet.
That does not make sense. I hate when they come from behind me.
There's like somebody playing it. This is a recent picture, so somebody must have been playing it recently.
These hoppers remind me of something. The bouncy hopper things. They look like, you know what they kind of remind me of. What do you think what remind you?
For me, kind of like the spiders from Tron.
Okay, a little bit. You know, I was thinking they look like the fuel pods from Scramble a little bit.
Oh, they do visually.
Yeah.
All right, here's a close-up of the panel. Okay, so the panel, there are 6 buttons on the stand-up panel. There is a fire button on left or right side.
I got to pause. We got to go. Got to show our viewers what we're talking about here. So you looked up. What did you look up? You looked up.
I looked up
Rogers Zoom cabinet.
Played at Zoom Arcade and hit. And it's
I
one
see.
Of the images.
Yeah, let's cut over here. There we go. All right. So here's.
If you look, what is this like?
So there's the sit down.
12th or so down. No, go further down. That's the sit down though.
Yeah, right there.
Can't really see the gas.
Oh, there's the controls. There we go.
There it is, right there.
That's what I'm talking about, right there.
That's the one I was looking at.
Yep. There you go.
And so it's got a fast, slow button and some fires.
And I'm using a fast, slow button. So 2 fires. So it's a 3-button game, just like I'm playing. So it has up, down, it's steering, just like I'm doing. And it has fire and a fast and slow button. And then this player starts down here. Okay. Yep. So not that different from what I'm already doing. So that's interesting.
No. Yeah. But I think that it was probably a little bit easier to use with Zaxxon-style controller.
Oh, I think that's definitely true. Yeah. Yes.
I wonder if that red button that was on the thumb button on the handle of the controller was also a button. That was.
I got to think that's a fire button. Yeah, that's got to be. Geez,
I
these
found-
UFOs are. I must have spent
Jesus.
$17 on this game by now.
I found a picture of the Buck Rogers Sega arcade cassette for the 48K ZX Spectrum.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yep.
Some box art.
Okay, are you watching how unforgiving these UFOs are? I mean, they just fly in and
They're
clock
popping you.
You can't even like tell when they're gonna get to you. It's just kind of like I just keep putting in blank initials and putting another quarter in. That's the way to get the high score.
I'm looking at some of the box art from back in the day.
Yep.
Not one piece of it has anything about Gil Gerard.
No.
It's just all
Yeah.
cartoon,
Yeah.
and it's Buck Rogers like from the old serial movies.
Right. Well, they would have had to license that and pay somebody. So, I mean, you
You
know.
would have thought they would have done it, though. I mean, this was only a year after the show was released, so that means they had to be developing it sometime while the show was still in the air.
Right. Yep.
But no.
I almost get the feeling that this was a game in development and they slapped Buck Rogers on it.
I can see where they repurposed the Planet Harriers cabinet.
I mean, wouldn't you make, if you were doing this, wouldn't you at least make the ship look like Buck's ship?
Well, so yeah, I would think so, right?
Yeah.
You would use the Starfighter, the Earth
Yeah,
Defense
right, of course.
Fighter. Yeah.
Man, I'm terrible. It's okay.
Which is why I think they must have looked at that one Olympiad
Yeah,
show
right.
and thought that was his ship, I guess. That's the only thing I can figure out.
All right. So what do you say we take a look at one of the other versions? You game for that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Which one do you want to look at next?
Let's take a look at the 2600. That's kind of
All
where
right.
our roots are.
Bango. There we go. 2600.
Hey, Stu Baca's back.
Hey, welcome back, Stu.
Well, in honor of Stu Baca coming back, I'm going to paste a link, if it'll let me, into our chat about a new thing that we're doing. So
That's right. You're gonna capitalize on Stu Baca's generosity, aren't you?
I am, because Stu Baca's the man, first of all.
Well, first of all, Stu Baca is notoriously generous to a fault.
He is.
Right. He'll.
Yeah, to our fault, not
Yeah,
his
no.
fault.
I like the fault. It's good.
So anyway, we now have a Patreon page, patreon.com/GenXGrownUp.
We do.
And we have several different cheap little levels to show your love and support. Stu Baca, stop, I'm blushing.
We don't listen. If you're talking about Patreon, we put together a little video actually to explain what it's all about. You mind if we give that a
You
run?
gonna do that?
Yeah, let's do that. All right. So take a look at this. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey there, devoted viewer. You know, all of us at Gen X Grown Up hope you've been enjoying the stuff we've been putting out. I know you've heard the saying, there's no such thing as a free lunch. But then there's the little known corollary to that saying, which is, there's no such thing as free content creation. Don't get me wrong, we do this because we love it. It's not about the money it costs. But if you also love what we do and would like to help us be a little more self-sustaining, we have now launched a Patreon page where you can go and support us. In case you're not familiar with Patreon, if you've ever had somebody in your office show up to sign up for your kid's walkathon, it's like that, but it's not about walking, it's about being a dork. It's more of a dorkathon. You can head over to patreon.com/GenXGrownUp and you can pledge anywhere from $1 to as much as you'd like per month. That money goes straight to us and helps us to create the content that we do. And because we're all such shrewd businessmen, you know what we're gonna do if you don't support us financially? Nothing. We're going to keep on creating the stuff we do because we love doing it. That's it. Patreon.com/GenXGrownUp. Either way, we love that you're here, digging the stuff that we do, and we're going to keep right on doing it. Thanks, and I'll talk to you next time.
That's it. That's all it is.
Nice.
It's people that think we're halfway cool.
Well, and some of them do. Some of them think we're halfway cool to the, $1 tier, which is just you love all things Gen X Grown Up, so you want to give us $1 a month, and we love you and appreciate you for it. Some other people really love us and give us $3 per month. We've got a few of those guys.
Unprecedented.
I know. Hey, Uncle Strange, hello. And
Hey,
so on the $3 level, you not only show how much you love Gen X Grown Up, but you also get some sneak peek and behind the scenes kind of videos that we post only for those Patreon supporters at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just above that, there's a $10
$10.
tier, but let me tell you what you're going to get for that. You're going to get the, which is our undying love.
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to get stuff in the second level.
Infinite
which-
appreciation.
all the cool free stuff that we're going to put up on the Patreon webpage early.
Exclusive
All the
stuff.
back-
Yes.
Exclusive. But you're also going to get a Gen X grown-up puzzle cube.
Ooh, that sounds pretty
Now
dope.
that's pretty dope, right? It took me 30 years to learn how to solve it the first time, and I can't stop playing around with these puzzle cubes now. The Rubik's cubes, the what's that? Pyraminx?
Pyraminx, yeah,
The
Pyraminx,
snake, all
yep.
these things. Love these things. So you get one just for joining at that $10 level. Now I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but man, can you imagine having your own I don't even have a Gen X grown-up puzzle cube yet.
It costs you $10 a month. That's why you don't have.
I know I need to sign up. And of course, we've got a $50 one for sponsors. Any companies out there watching this video, you guys want to join up and throw your stamp on Gen X Grown-Up videos because you want to ride that wave of nostalgia with us, jump on in at that $50 per month level. We'll make sure we put you some videos up at the beginning of all of our stuff, probably on our podcast. I don't know. We're going to put your stuff everywhere on that.
It's negotiable.
Comic book nostalgia? Holy crap!
What's up, man? Good to see you here. If you're not watching Comic Book Nostalgia, you know, you gotta, if you're not subscribing to Comic Book Nostalgia, get off your ass and get over there. Those guys those guys are serious. Now, George, before we leave Patreon, what the hell are we gonna do with all that money? Is it all gonna be hookers and blow, or what's the goal?
Well, can it be?
I don't know. It can't.
Was that an option?
No, it's not.
Did we discuss that in the I need to go back and take a look.
Yeah, we have little expenses, right? Like we have subscriptions to Zencaster for our podcast. We have subscriptions to SEO tools and stuff.
Sure.
And we pay it out of pocket right now. It's nice to be a little more self-sufficient. That's it. So
it would be nice. Yeah, I mean, we've done well for ourselves over the last year and a half. I guess at this point, is that about right?
Yeah, about right.
Year and a half or so.
Yeah.
We've done really well. We've had some really kind sponsors, some people who've sent us to conventions and helped take care of the tools that we use for our podcast and everything. But having that steady monthly $3 type of thing coming in from you guys here and our fandom group, that would mean so much to us. That would take such a weight off of John and my shoulders for sure. Because every time we get on the call, we're like, okay, how much is left in the coffers? We need to do this. Okay, I'll just pay it out of my pocket.
Negative. Wait a minute, Stubaka. Listen, my friend.
Stubaka!
$10.
Look at that man.
All right, what?
He wants a puzzle cube. We need to send Stubaka a puzzle cube, don't we?
Well, he knows how to get it now. We're made it very clear. So, what do you think about this Atari 2600 version? So, certainly it has the same theme. What I can tell you.
Now, before we get into that, Comic Book Nostalgia had a question. They said, was there a version on ColecoVision? Was there? There was, absolutely.
Well, let's pop over to the Wikipedia page. I think we have open. Let's take a look. Right?
Do you have that?
I do. Yeah, let's pop that open. That's a good question. Yeah, ColecoVision, absolutely.
Stubaka said, "Read the note on the donation." We'll take a look at that. I don't know how to do it, Stubaka.
Yeah, we'll take a. It's inside of Streamlabs. You can look at the note.
Right down there, ColecoVision, Coleco Adam,
52,
and television.
8-bit Coleco. Yeah, the Specky.
Mm-hmm.
It was IBM PC, VGA, CGA graphics. Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
So yeah, I'm just looking at what I know because those are the ones I know, and I owned them already, so I have the rights.
It would be interesting to see the ColecoVision because it generally would have had better graphics than the 2600, I would think.
Welcome, Micavon, new subscriber.
Micavon, woohoo!
Welcome to Gen X Grown Up. I don't know if you're in the stream or you're just a delightful random viewer who's watching some other videos and subscribed, or maybe you'll see this in a replay. But welcome.
I do apologize for my celebration. It's going to be a little bit late, but I'm still celebrating.
That's okay. You can celebrate anytime you like. So interestingly, yeah. So it still has like the number of UFOs to hit, but man, I'm gonna have.
It also has that same kind of design to the ship. It's that sled.
It does. Yep.
Design, right? It's not the one that you would expect.
I feel like I'm gonna have a epileptic seizure from the flashing.
I know, right?
So interestingly, you can't move up and down at all. Okay, so why? Atari joystick had one button. True. So instead of moving up and down, forward is faster, backwards is slower.
Oh, right. So they had to make the compromise. Which one are we going to
What you can see, it looks like there's a progress bar across the top that shows me how far along I am on the map. And I don't remember that on the arcade game even.
Comic Book Nostalgia says it's wait time for Buck Rogers to return. And I can't disagree with that. We've had a lot of people commenting on the
Yes.
video.
Yeah, but
about-
everything is getting rebooted. Why not that?
Right, exactly. And it could be rebooted into something so much better than what it ended up with the second season. You had one, maybe two decent episodes in the second season. The rest of the 12 episodes really weren't worth anything.
All right, anytime
So-
somebody says something like that, so who could play Buck? You're gonna reboot.
Right now, I mean, there's a lot of
a
people.
known actor. I mean, obviously you can find new talent, but I mean, is there a known
You
actor?
can find known actor. Honestly, I'd go old Buck Rogers. I would say Buck Rogers has been in the 25th century for a few years now, and I would put Bruce Willis in that role. I think that'd be awesome.
He's got some charisma. Yeah, he's got some Gil
Yeah.
Gerard charisma. I could see that.
Oh, Comic Book Nostalgia says there's a new Flash Gordon movie coming, so,
Yeah.
you know,
Is it
why not do a movie of
is it-
Buck Rogers?
Now, was it Flash or Flesh Gordon? Which one's coming?
Okay, well, you said which one's coming. That's kind of...
Hello.
Stubaka said his comment was a hint about what I signed up for on Patreon.
What?
Stubaka, did you
Stu.
sign up on Patreon? You are unbelievable.
We don't yet
Yeah,
have.
you sure did.
We
It
don't yet
just
have
refreshed.
Patreon connected to the stream information because, frankly, we don't expect many people to sign up on it. So,
Stu says it's a family stream. John, shut up. We don't want to upset Stu.
well, ladies and gentlemen, ST Stian, my man,
ST!
$10 donation.
You
Stian,
guys rock.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate. So hold on. So we gotta do the.
What are we doing?
You gotta sing or something for these donations. I mean, right?
I get to sing? Okay.
We'll do. How do you do the Fofana song, right? Like you do Stubaka,
yeah.
Bubaka, Banana Banana, Fufufaka, Me, Ma, Umaka, Stubaka. Is that how you do it with Stubaka? I've never done it with a long name like that.
That's probably good.
And then Stian. I can do
that.
Stian. He's the only one. Yeah. Stian,
Stian?
Bobian, Banana Fana, Fofian, Me, My, Mo, Ian, Stian. Yeah, man. I will make an ass of myself anytime you want to throw money at us to support our passion. Are you kidding me?
Which is exactly how John got through college.
Thank you. Easy now. What, throwing money at passion? Easy. Okay.
No, somebody threw it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, $5 is $5.
Back then, that was like a Guthrie's chicken deal, right?
Seriously, guys, Stian, Stubaka, thank you so much for your support.
Yes, thank
This
you guys.
is-
I mean, it
this
means
is-
so much to us.
I'm gonna be able to buy another gold-plated Lamborghini now, thanks to the support for our. Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't do
The
this for the little
Matchbox?
donations. Those really help us to do what we love doing. So, thanks,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
It makes it so much easier, so we can focus on putting out the great content as opposed to worrying about the bill.
Well, that's subjective. Well, content. We'll see. I don't know if it's great. Well,
I
let me
think
say,
it's great.
let me tell you what else I do too, but it's still subjective.
Oh, Kit Harington, Comic Book Nostalgia suggestion for Buck. Let me look up Kit Harington. I don't know who that is.
You know what else? Whenever we get little donations in the stream or Patreon, you know what else it does?
Oh!
It refills my emotional tank. It's like,
Okay.
look, somebody likes this as much as I do. You know?
They do, right?
Okay, lay it on me. Kit Harington.
Kit Harington is Jon Snow from
Oh,
Game
oh.
of Thrones.
Did he
Yeah,
die?
that's not a bad choice. Right on there, Comic Book Nostalgia. That's a pretty good choice. A lot of British actors coming over and doing American roles better than Americans anyway, so,
Right?
you know. I could see Kit
Ah,
Harington.
get over there. Oh, I'm in space for some reason. You know what? This 2600. First of all, so let's focus on this game for a minute.
All right, let's
So-
focus on the game.
This is a really good 2600 game.
It's not a bad port. Like, I noticed just then when the spaceships are coming out,
Yeah.
they're not coming out single, they're coming out as a group, which is a little
Right.
bit different. I imagine that was a sprite limitation when they were
Yeah.
programming.
Well, first of all, 2600 has no sprites, so yes.
Not sprite, but you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah, right. They don't have discrete moving. Well, I'm sorry, it does have 3 sprites. I take it back. My point is, as a port, man,
Do that again.
as an Atari 2600 game, it's pretty damn cool.
It is pretty cool.
It is
I want
way
you to
better than-
shoot while you're moving and shooting at the same time. Watch the bullets kind of zig and zag with your movement.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed that, but that was pretty cool.
Oh, I just
there.
got- I
It's
just
like
got-
you could send them in direction.
I just got rear-ended, if you know what they.
You did.
This came out just 1 year after the arcade game too.
Oh, some people are also saying Peter Dinklage for Twinkie.
For Tweaky?
Yeah.
That's unnecessarily awesome casting, right? Because it could just be a kid. It doesn't have to be a little person. But of course it could be.
And some people are talking about Aaron Paul, Charlie Cox, who's Daredevil.
Aaron Paul! Oh, I'm Buck Rogers, bitch! Aaron Paul would be awesome.
All right, comic book nostalgia's got to take off.
Hey, well, thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you here in the stream. Thank you. Nostalgia. We keep an eye on your stuff on your channel all the time. And if you're watching and you're not yet subscribed to Nostalgia, you should head over to Comic Book Nostalgia. Give them a subscription right effing now.
And they do some great stuff on Twitter as well. They have a lot of daily, here's what happened in comic book history stuff that is just, I don't know where they find all the facts that they use, but they do some great graphics, they give you some great information. I love the stuff they do.
So thanks for stopping by, guys.
Appreciate it.
Or guy, or
Uncle
gals.
Strange says, I would love to see Daredevil cross into the movies. Well, he did that once. But it was horrendously bad.
What? Daredevil cross?
Yeah, Daredevil was in the Ben Affleck version.
Oh, we're not talking about Buck Rogers anymore. Got it. Okay.
Well, they're just talking about
casting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
I think they mean the actor playing Daredevil. Now, he would do really well.
All right.
Oh, into the MCU, Uncle Strange is saying. Yeah, MCU would be interesting. So, Buck Rogers on the 2600 in the 25th century.
Right.
I noticed that on this, the pylons that you're navigating between, as they come down to the bottom of the screen, they're narrowing. I don't think that was the way it was on the arcade.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. I mean, knowing what I know, I mean, and I've read the novel, or it's not a novel, the book by Ian Bogost about racing the beam, all that 2600, because I'm just a 2600 dork. And that means now when I play games like this, I'm even more impressed knowing, like, without getting super nerdy and technical, it's called racing the beam because often programmers had to literally, there's the CRT beam that's lighting up the screen. You literally had to sometimes race that in software and say, okay, well, I'm going to turn on this pixel here, and then before the beam gets to the bottom of the screen, we'll change the sprite so it draws in two places at once. Because the limitations were so crazy, and that's why you have all the flicker, because they're drawing something in two places at once. That's what you're fighting all the time, and so this is an impressive. I mean, you have the scrolling up and down, you have the parallax.
There's a lot going on the screen.
Yeah, the parallax. So the mountains in the background are scrolling,
right?
Which is another, like, Activision perfected that a lot, but this is happening in the background with
kind of a battle zone kind of feel.
Yep, battle zone-y, yeah. So it's an impressive 2600 game. Again,
it's pretty good.
Doesn't look like Buck Rogers. Doesn't look like his ship, but it looks like the arcade game Buck Rogers. So we'll give him that.
It does, yeah. And they were porting from that, not from the TV show.
Of course, yeah. So we do ports from that. You have to give them a pass because it's not up to them to put Buck Rogers-ness into it. They're just trying to replicate the arcade experience.
Well, and I always like to compare when somebody takes a license and makes a video game out of it. It's always fun to compare it to what a lot of people consider to be one of the worst ones, the E.T. port. I think this is much better faithful representation of at least one part of what the Buck Rogers TV show could have been than what the E.T. port was. I'm not saying the E.T. port was horrible, but it didn't do a good job for me of representing the film.
I got you. Yeah. I have a long-planned video that I want to do defending that, and I think, I mean, I don't know if there's a place to talk E.T., but since you opened the jar of worms, I mean, I think it did an amazing job of, like, so you're gathering parts for the phone, you're dodging the IRS guy, or the CIA guy, IRS. He's got the back taxes, E.T. has. He's dodging the CIA guy all the time. They're trying to capture him and take him to the hospital. So, I mean, I think what you're detecting is they tried to put too much of the film into the game.
Right.
It's not a film. It's a game, and they worked so hard to put all those elements into it that it ended up not being fun for a lot of people because it was trying to tell a story that the 2600 cannot tell.
And that's the thing. It was trying to do something ahead of its time before it could be done. Now we can have cinematic video games, right? I mean, we've got BioShocks, we've got the Mass Effects, we've got all those kind of games that have story as their base.
Yep.
We couldn't do that with these 2600 platforms. It just simply didn't have the resources to handle it. but they tried, and then they had to rush it because the execs that would be said, "Oh, you've got a month or two to do this, get this done by Christmas."
Right,
So, I just think that's kind of where it failed, was in the conception of trying to do too much.
Now I'm noticing in this game something I didn't notice at first. When I hold down
Krillin 64.
Hey Krillin,
how you doing, buddy?
We are playing some Buck Rogers right now on the 2600, but we're looking at multiple platforms. So I'm noticing I can hold down the fire button. It has this rapid fire. But if I don't do that, the bullet goes all the way to the top of the screen, and I was cheating myself out of range.
Oh, that's kind of like with Gallagher Rapid Fire.
That's right, yeah. I can only have 2 bullets on the screen here, but if I will allow it to go up, it'll get more distance, which I didn't realize at first.
So you can catch the guys when they're further out from you.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And if they did an ET game now, someone would find a way to screw it up. That's what Uncle Strange says. Probably, it's kind of hard to port an existing media property like a movie or a TV show into a video game successfully. It seems to be coming up with something original is the better way to go.
And 2 things that's missing in this I noticed. Well, one thing that's missing, no boss battle like in the arcade version we just played.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
But also, I think I have hit the difficulty ceiling on this.
So you're at a tough level, and that's
after about the 3rd. I mean, maybe it's going to get crazy, but at this moment, I feel like I could go for the high score of the world right now.
So right now you're just you're running through pylons and killing foes.
Yeah, and after a few of them, I got 5 more to do, and once I do that, I'll be in outer space, and it just keeps toggling back and forth. Oh, the other thing it doesn't have the trench run where you're dodging walls. That's not here.
Okay.
So now we're back
Uncle
in space.
Strange said he's 42 and cynical about the ET conversion. Well, Uncle Strange, then you might like that video once John gets around getting it finished about his Defense of E.T., the video game card.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun video.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue it's a good game. I'm going to argue that it's not a bad game.
I'm still thrown off by how those bullets kind of do the
little jiggly, little shimmy.
Yeah.
They do the little Pamela Anderson jiggle, do they?
That's pretty cool, though. And it's when you're moving in the opposite direction.
Yep. And I bet you that's an artifact of... Nobody did that on purpose. That's like an artifact.
Well, no, it's because they're scrolling that part of the screen when you move, right? When you move left.
Right, exactly. Oh, right. Of course, yeah.
That's got to be what it is.
Because, again, limited sprites, the bullet's becoming part of the background now, so it's...
Yeah, once they hit that level of the screen, it's just stuff moving.
I've never spent this much time looking at Buck Rogers. I mean, let me tell you. Well, I haven't. I mean, I played it on the 2600. I played it on the 8-bit, but I never spent this much time comparing them side by side to really understand what you're getting and what you're not.
Well, I know you're at a threshold now, so why don't we spin up some of my favorite of GenXGrownUp?
All right. Well, luckily, there's a pause button on emulation.
Ready. I know. Well, and you can get a chance to get ready to pop up the Atari 8-bit version. Maybe.
I gotcha. Yeah. So, I think it's a time for a little commercial break, a little self-aggrandizing.
Cool.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I have to give some shout-outs to Mo, who's not on the stream here. Our new website, take a look at this beast. So our website was good. For a long time, our website was great. But now, I mean, it's got some life to it. It's got some animation. I didn't make that scroll like that. We have so much content now. We have video stuff from YouTube. We have our podcast. We have articles and text reviews and that kind of thing. And now that's all easy to find. You have videos, you have podcasts, you have articles. All that can be accessed, available to you really easily. And speaking of podcast, get ready to toot your own horn here, George.
Woohoo, toot toot.
In our podcast, we used to have one, the GenXGrownUp podcast. We now have not one, not three, 2 podcasts.
Not one, not 3? Really? That's how you went with
that? We have 2. So George is a comic book guru. He is the comic book guy.
Wow.
And so his comic book brain just was always seeping comic book knowledge. So we focused all that and we channeled it into a dedicated channel, an outlet called Drawn and Paneled, a podcast that you and Jason, that used to host the Comic Sans videos on our channel. Yep. Tell them a little bit about the podcast. About a month old.
Well, it's about a month old. We've got, I think, 3-4 episodes out there. There's a trailer, a couple of current event episodes. We've done a backtrack. Yep. We just recorded some more this past weekend. Of course, we're going to talk about Stan Lee in the next podcast that's coming out on Wednesday. We really enjoy the comic book area, but more specifically the indie comic book stuff. So Marvel and DC, they have their stuff. They don't need any of us to promote them. But the indie comics, people like Aftershock and Scout and Caliber, Blue Juice Comics, these guys who are small, little regional kind of printers and stuff and get their books out there, they're starting to come on and take over the market share. If you add all those guys up into one little group, they're almost as large now as Marvel combined. They're taking over,
Yep.
which is really nice. And so we wanted to do a podcast talking about the indie comic stuff, but not just talking about them. We get special guests on our podcast.
Yeah, creators and publishers and editors, and
that's right.
You're running the gamut.
We've had the president of Scout Comics on so far, the head and editor from Caliber Comics. We've got a whole bunch of other guys. The young man we just recorded with this Saturday who's created his own comic book studio in the last few months. So really cool stuff.
You can go to the website, you can find it, you can scroll down, you can listen right here, or you can go to one of your aggregators, your iTunes, your Google podcast, whatever, and you can find it there.
And that one that you're looking at right there, John, that's an interesting thing. That's our back issue.
Totally pop back to that.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
So we talk about books when we're looking at the current events when we have that episode, but then every other week, Gen X Grown Up does a backtrack. We do a back issue where we pick a specific book or story arc
of
from
some significance
70s, 80s,
of theirs, and you kind of dig in on that. You talk about the art and the artists and the significance it had in the overall comics world, and I like those because as not being a comic guru, I learned a lot there because you're not using all the lingo of the business. I'm actually learning something, going back and get some history lessons. I kind of like that. So
well, Stu Baca just asked in the live chat, did we stop doing Comic Sans? Yes, Stu Baca, we did stop doing Comic Sans. But we're transitioning the Drawn and Panel podcast into a video segment that will be on the YouTube channel. We're going to take like all the best parts of the month of the weekly podcast and clip them out and put them into a video format on the YouTube channel. So once we get about, a month's worth of those put together, then we'll put those out. But yeah, we had to stop doing Comic Sans. It was just way too much time. I wasn't able to do anything else with the channel because I was spending 12 to 15, 20 hours a week even doing just one video.
So all that is available on Gen X Grown Up. And
I'm sorry you're sad, Stu. I apologize.
If you're not subscribed already, subscribe, and you can watch a lot of cool stuff like this.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown up. No more watching shows till sunrise. Unacceptable for grown ups. Your dinner cannot just be French fries. Basically, life sucks as a grown up.
Hi, my name is Ryan Berger. I'm the publisher of Old School Gamer Magazine, and you're watching Gen X Grown Up.
Hi, my name is Carter Kinney. I'm the lead designer of Twin Cop, and you're watching Gen X Grown Up.
I'm Walter Day, and you're watching Gen X Grown Up.
Hi, this is Udi Dur. I'm one of the creators of GoCube, and I'm watching Gen X Grown Up.
What's up, everybody? This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Band. I am a Gen X Grown Up. I'm from Gen X. I'm a grown up. Let's just mash the two together. Gen X Grown Up, everybody.
Okay, we are back. There we have it. All right, so we are looking.
Is this the Atari 8-bit version?
This is the Atari 8-bit version. So we're coming out on this guy. Let me go ahead and just let my ships die. We'll start from the beginning because...
Well, first of all, I noticed the pylons are completely different. They're much more like the arcade.
Yeah, and you should expect that. So the Atari 8-bit is essentially Atari 5200. Let me take that back. 5200 is essentially the Atari 8-bit.
Okay, all right.
They took that hardware and they put it right into a home console, so the 5200. So imagine how advanced the 5200 was over the 2600. That's what you get. Yep. So
I never really played the 5200.
Yeah, a lot of it's not surprising. A lot of people didn't. Yeah. So it's got a little title screen. It's not exciting or dramatic, but it has a little title screen here.
The colors are
little rotating. So let's take a look and see just how much they mimic. And the levels are interesting. It's level 0.0. The controls are touchy. I'll give them that. For better or for worse. So I can go up and down, unlike the 2600 version. But my question...
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, I see that.
But how am I going to change speed? Maybe if I push at the top? Yes.
Do you have any buttons?
No, just they say it's the same controller as the 2600.
How many
So,
buttons
just
is the
one button.
controller for the 26? Oh, the 2600? That only have one button. How are you going
It
up
did.
and down?
The stick is taking me up and down now.
So what's making you go fast or slow?
So once you reach the ceiling of up and you keep pushing up, it makes you go faster.
Oh, and I guess if you go
You
all
have
the
to,
way
you
down
have to
and keep
crush it
going
to the
down-
ground, and then you can go slower. Yeah. And there's
kind of a
and there's
weird
the only visual
combination.
indicator of speed is just the speed of the ground moving.
Right, because you're still in the same place on the screen every time.
And this now I have a fuel meter. I don't remember a fuel meter being part of the game before, but
Yeah, I don't either.
man, that's unforgiving. Those pylons.
Kind of like Scramble almost, and that's what those guys look like right there. They look
They do,
ships from
yeah, they do
Scramble.
look like Scramble.
Huh.
Man, it's like sprite detection. There's no depth perception on it. You've got to just
And
not
this one
touch the
has a
pylon.
score also.
Yeah,
compared to the-
and 26 did. 26 did.
in real time.
Yeah, that's because not a lot of 26 or 5200 owners had an LED readout next to their TV. Probably.
Stubaka just put a nice comment up. He said, "I've said it before. I love what you guys do. Great to see guys my age doing this stuff amongst all the kids on YouTube talking about retro stuff. They should get off our lawn."
Stu,
Damn right, Stu.
and we appreciate you. Yeah, you know, it's people like you. It's why we do it. I mean,
Yep.
when we first created this channel, it was like, you know, there's got to be other people like me. Oh, we got to outer space. Sorry, there's got to be other people like me who care about this kind of crap, and you know, and we're slowly finding that audience. I think.
I love how the level here was 0.3. It wasn't like
Yeah, I know.
level
Oh, now we're running out of fuel, and I don't know what to do about that. Oh, I bet because we're going slow. I bet it burns at a constant rate. So if you go too slow, it burns. That's my suspicion. Not having at a boss battle. Look, there's the boss.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I couldn't see it because I had to wait.
Although I'm nearly out of fuel. Well, it was a sneak preview for you. Seen it was coming.
Right.
I got him. I pwned his ass.
Nice. Oof.
This is a nice version.
Oh,
of,
now look, level 1.0.
yeah, interesting.
It went from 3 to 1.0, 0.3 rather.
I'm going to go on record as saying this is better than the arcade version.
You think so? Really?
Well, I mean, there's more to it. There's a fuel meter. There's an incentive to go faster.
That's a good point. Stu says the boss looks a lot like an X-wing with S-foils closed.
Absolutely did. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was not a giant ship like it was in the arcade. It was
right.
you know, to
It
scale.
had the
but-
4 tank engine
Yep,
thing.
yep. You still did shoot it about as much, but
Right.
1.1. So 1.1 is I got to go a little faster. I run out of fuel. What I also unlike the 2600, I can hold down rapid fire. The bullets will go all the way to the top. But
There's
I get,
something else I'm noticing here, though.
yeah.
The background's not scrolling.
It isn't. Yeah, that parallax. Oh, it is a little bit. I just have to crank it hard. But it's
Oh, is it?
it's a jerky
Oh,
scroll.
yeah, I see it.
It's a very
Yeah.
jerky. It's not smooth. Oddly enough, like the 2600 was.
Huh. Well, I guess they had to give up one thing to get another, possibly.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, you know, it's whatever you're cheating the hardware. It's whole new hardware.
You're also able to rapid fire all the way across the screen.
Yep. There's no limitation. And there's like 3 or 4 bullets on the screen at once. But when I say I think it's better than the arcade version, I think graphically the arcade is clearly better. There's no question about that.
Okay.
I think what I'm saying is this is more playable. The arcade version is just an unforgiving punish fest. Like,
Sure.
things were just swooping in and killing me just to suck in my quarter. Whereas I feel like I have some control over this. The fuel thing kind of gives me a motivation to keep moving.
Well, and it was a little bit different as well when you're talking about arcade experience versus the at-home. When you're in the arcade, they want to suck the quarter in, right? That's
Yeah.
the whole point.
Yeah.
But when you're at home, they want you to enjoy the game, so you'll talk it up to your friends, so they'll go buy the cartridge.
Yeah, let me tell you what though, that arcade one, we'll go back to that one before we finish. That arcade one it's so punishing. I would tell people not to go play it. Don't put a quarter in.
Well, you would.
It felt
for
like
sure.
it felt like a cheat. It was just, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
But
hit
they're
continue and
on
die 3
routes.
times in a
They have a
row.
lot more people than you could talk to coming into the arcades.
Yeah. They're counting on word of mouth not getting out.
Exactly.
All right, so level one, the .3 level is the
1.3.
space level. All right, so I got to pick up the speed a little bit here.
Yeah.
Go, go, go. So George, this is your first opportunity of doing the double header live stream.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts?
I'm just sad that I don't get to play.
Yeah?
I like the interaction and everything, but at some point, I can't wait till we do like a live stream where all 4 of us are playing at the same time. That'll be a lot.
Yep. Yep. I can tell you, as a player, as a streamer playing, I feel such a much better level of interaction with the audience because you can either focus on the game or you can focus on the chat. Those are the options.
Sure.
In fact,
Yeah.
I just died because I looked over at the chat, quite honestly. But this allows me to, I know somebody is paying attention to the audience, and I can focus on that, and we can talk about it. That works really well. So, you know, I want to give this one more play. I'm really liking this 8-bit one.
I think it's also nice as well because when you're thinking about how two people interact on screen versus just one person talking to a camera, I think that allows it to be a little bit more natural. So you're not just talking at dead air. You actually have somebody to bounce stuff off.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people have two people together playing at the same time. This format, copyright GenXGrownUp. This is the first time I've seen anyone basically have a manager, have a chat manager.
Sure.
You know, I would say that you're actually the host of this stream, and I'm the player. You know.
Fair enough.
Because you're keeping things running. So.
Where's my royalty then? Because I should be getting paid more.
You know what? You're gonna get double what I get.
I get double what you get. Woohoo!
I don't get anything.
Damn it! What's the math on that?
But you get twice of it.
I get twice of zero.
Yeah. You know,
do my
let's call it
Firefly impression. Carry the zero. Move the zero over here. Oh, still zero. Damn it.
You know what? You're doing a good job. Triple it.
Well, it's a lot of fun, honestly. I mean, I would like to play the game, and I think when we have it, one of the games that we figure out how to handle all the Discord stuff, and we play a game that all three of us can play. You know, like we did Ticket to Ride, but we did that as kind of an as live instead of a live stream.
Right. Yep. Just a plays. Yeah.
Stubaka says John gets squat and George gets squat and a half.
Oh, nice. You get overtime. Squat and a half.
But I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what game or games we should.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. Maybe some retro games, maybe some modern games, maybe a combination of.
Well, I'll tell you, no matter what, this wouldn't have been possible until Discord created. Like, you could have done this with crappy Skype.
Oh no.
Yeah. Let me take it back. Skype is great, but not for this. So yes,
No.
I use Skype all the time, but not for this kind of low lag, low latency ability to do this. So.
Yeah, and there are other ones out there that have improved on Skype. You know, there's Zoom and services out there like that. But for gameplay, Discord is where it's at, really.
Yeah. Discord does a great job of this. So.
I'm definitely enjoying this. It's fun. I would love it if it was all real time for me, like I didn't have that like 6 or 7 second delay.
There's only so much you can do there, right? Yeah.
It's still awesome. I mean, that's because it's got to go up to YouTube and then come back down
through the interwebs.
I love the graphic that you created for this one, though. I love the old school TV screen because that's how we would have been.
Oh yeah, we'll use more of that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and you commented before when we were starting this stream. You said you're doing what you would have done during a live stream anyway. You know, talking to people in chat and suggesting stuff. But now now I can't ignore you. Is the difference?
No.
Well, let me say it's harder. Well, it's harder to ignore you.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we have a good sense of what's going on in the Atari 8-bit version of this game. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's
yeah.
no question. It's a front scroller type video game in the vein of Zaxxon or Star Fox or Harrier or any of those games.
What a start! So I'm gonna go back. Here's the 8-bit, and then when I go back to the arcade, bam! It just reminds me how much more powerful the hardware was. You know, again, I said I think it looks better in the arcade without a doubt, but playability, I think it's. I mean, you saw me.
I think it might have been different too if you'd had that Zaxxon controller. For
Maybe.
the arcade.
Yeah.
That might have made it a little
still,
bit different.
it's pretty unforgiving. I don't know. I'm not going to give it much of a pass. I think it's a
Fair
bitch.
enough.
It's being a bitch. So. You know, one thing I wanted to look at. We glanced at the Wikipedia page. I just wonder, there's something else I want to look in there and see. Let's learn a little what we do. I wanted to take a look. I didn't read all this all. Yeah, forward rail shooter. Controls a spaceship behind the back. All that we know. Enemy ships. We played the game. We know. Pseudo 3D.
I love how in Japan, since they didn't have Buck Rogers, big thing there. It's called Zoom 909.
Oh yeah. They don't know Buck Rogers. That makes sense.
I don't know what the 909 is about, but
and it shared a smooth conversion of the game to the Sega SG 1000.
It just dawned on me too. This is Buck Rogers' Planet of Zoom.
Yeah.
I mean, we were on a planet. Was its name Zoom?
It had to be
Zoom that we went fast.
It had to be the Planet of Zoom. Yes.
I guess.
Yeah. Buck is never seen in the game. Only real connection to Buck is the use of the name in the outer space setting. And then home versions, blah, blah, blah. We read all those versions. So, yeah, I just want to make sure we touched on that because I like to learn a little about the games that we play.
I went looking before we went on the live stream. There's not a ton of information out there on this. The Wikipedia articles
Well,
are
we said we
small.
never saw it.
looking at
I
some other
don't
things.
think it was very broadly distributed, quite frankly.
There's maybe 10 or 15 YouTube videos out there on it where people played it.
Now there's
but they-
16.
in
Ha!
the past. That's right.
All right, let's put some coins in. I'm going
All
to have to continue 20 times, but I'll put some coins in. Here we go.
Sweet.
Oh,
Wait,
slow
is
down.
that coming out of my pay for being the host?
All the quarters come out of your pay. They
Damn
absolutely do, yeah. No, curious. I wonder if I'm going to do any better this time now that I played a couple more versions. I'm going to guess no because I don't know if it's going to carry over. I feel like I feel like I have a little better
have the
sense of the
mechanics
depth.
down?
Yeah, the sense of depth. I feel like I have a little better handle on maybe. I haven't died 3 times yet, so that's a plus.
It feels like a narrower field of vision, even though it's the same.
It totally is. The ship is bigger,
Right.
and you're right. It's a narrow field of view. Yeah, no question about that. Yep.
I still like how they come in single file on this one, versus
Which is very, very Galaga-y.
2600. Yeah,
Coming
that's a
in
big-
like little waves, right?
There's some definite collision detection issues with this, though. You see some guys that are flying through you,
Yeah, it's like
and they're
yeah,
not hitting you.
yeah. There's no shadow to be able to. At least on.
So you don't have fuel; you have time left.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
a comparable thing. So that's your motivation to go faster.
Right.
Yeah. And by the way, I'll mention that MAME absolutely does have that LCD readout if you want to have it. That's where they put the score, and that's where they put the score there, and they put the high scores on that LCD readout.
Cool.
I'm sorry, LED. I'm incorrect.
LED.
Little red LED. But I just didn't put it on the screen here because, like, I thought that showing my current score was a trivial part of this game.
Especially
quite
considering
frankly.
how low it is.
Yeah. Well, but the odd thing is, it's a pay to play. Did you notice that if you continue,
Yep.
your score continues to build, even if you just continue?
Those mines are the pain in the butt on that level.
They totally are. Yeah.
So I'm just curious for the people who are still out there watching,
Ah!
if anybody wants to find this on MAME. If so, which version of this are you considering playing? Are you considering the arcade? Are you considering the 2600, the ColecoVision, the ZX Spectrum? I'm just wondering what everybody's preference would be.
You know, I always say that the arcade is the way to go in everything. I know a lot of people love Double Dragon on the NES, but the arcade is the way to go, or they love Pac-Man on the, or whatever, but, arcade is the way to go. I'm not so certain that the arcade is the best experience for this. Again, it looks the best. I'd be real curious to see how ColecoVision did it, because ColecoVision had more sprites and more colors. It might have gotten closer to this. And again, being a home console, it might not be as punishing. But the thing
So
too,
Stumaka says he has all the ROMs, so he's going to try them all.
all right,
He's going to Pokemon it.
gotta try them all. All right.
Yeah.
I wonder how come I have a shadow in this level and I don't have a shadow in the pylon level. I'm gonna say they.
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
understand
say.
why you don't have it in space.
I'm gonna say it cost them sprites to create the pylons. They couldn't afford shadows. That's gonna be my guess.
And when I say all the ROMs, I mean all ROMs, Stumaka says.
We're also those kind of nerds. We have purchased hard drives full of. We collected them ourselves, but then it becomes unwieldy. So we purchased multi-terabyte drives of ROMs. I don't use all of them, but I've got them.
And we're probably one of the few type of people that would say, oh, here's a 2 terabyte drive. It's totally worth it for it to be completely filled with nothing but old arcade ROMs.
It totally
because
is.
most other people, they're going to get a 2 terabyte drive, they want to fill it up with movies or pictures or special, like maybe their important documents or something like that. Not us. Nope.
Well,
all about arcade ROMs.
You can only fit a few hundred movies on a 2 terabyte drive. You can fit 3/4 of a metric shit ton of old games on a 2 terabyte drive with room left over. Yeah, you know what takes the most space on those are like those CHD games, the ones that have the hard drive, like Area 51 and things like that. Otherwise, that and your Daphne games, your Daphne games take up because they're video files. Media files? It's a word I made up.
Media file?
Yeah, I was gonna say media and
Copyright.
video, and it's huge.
Genetic copyright.
Yep.
Like, what was the other one? Dorkathon?
The Dorkathon. Copyright. Yep.
Dorkathon?
Yeah. Gotta have a Dorkathon.
Yeah.
Are you gonna let me continue?
And I love those old Daphne games too. Those things are awesome. That's what I want. I want to play Dragon's Lair on one of these live streams.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I'll tell you something interesting to notice about this arcade game. So I want you to watch when I die and continue. It's almost like a save state. When I ship dies or blows up, note where it is. And when I hit continue, it doesn't like start me back at getting a level. It starts me from that explosion.
Huh.
Like the moment I blow up, it starts me like with all those ships in the air. It's kind of saving that moment. And a continue, often in arcade games, a continue would afford you like, here.
Krillian just let us know that YouTube seems to be having site issues at the moment.
Oh,
to
good.
Let us know in case the stream starts having any problems.
Good. Well, I wouldn't know yet. You might know, George, watching. Are you seeing it?
No, it's still okay on my side.
Okay, so I'm
watching you blow up, and
Yeah.
you are right. You're in the same spot. when
So you
blow
watch.
up in this
So
wall.
now I'm going to continue. I'm right at that wall, and when I continue, watch it'll. Oh, it didn't do the same. Made a liar out of me. In space, it picks me up with all the same aliens, and maybe the walls are different, but
Right.
when you wreck in space, like it'll pick you up with all the same aliens in the same place. I'm going to say these are aliens from the planet Zoom. They're Zoomanites or Zoomoids. Zoomoids, maybe. Let's make that up.
So Stubaka said everything's good here, but he said my audio has cut out a bit here and there, but not back. So sorry about that.
Gotcha. Well,
It could be my kids in the other room using up all.
Except for our dulcet tones, you're not missing much from the audio of this game. It's not very inspired. I mean, you've got the woo, 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 and then you've got. I think that probably gets old pretty fast. Maybe YouTube's doing you a favor by muting this game. All right. Well, hey, so we've been at this for about an hour. As we try to wind it down a little bit, let's review each version of this that we've played. So we played 3 versions.
Yep.
And then we're going to overall say what we think of this as a game that exists out there. So let's start with the least hardware capable. So looking at the 2600. Yeah, so I'm going to pop over, look at the 2600. So you remember it. We played plenty of it. So how many tokens out of 5 would you give the 2600 version?
Considering the platform that it's on, I think I'd probably give it 3 tokens.
Yeah.
That'd be fair.
Yeah. Okay. So and knowing the difficulty of the quality of games in the 2600, I'm gonna give it 4.5 tokens out of 5.
Really?
For a 2600 game.
Okay.
Judging it by what I know is capable, I want to say it is incredible for what is capable on this platform. So
Stubaka just said you're the next Michael Winslow with those sound effects impression.
You're welcome. Yeah. I can do the windshield wipers. I can't do anything. Okay. Let's go to the 8-bit. So we looked at the 8-bit. So yeah, thoughts on the 8-bit. What do you think about?
I have no Atari 8-bit experience whatsoever. This is my first video game on the Atari 8-bit.
You played Mule with me. You played Mule.
Yeah, but I don't count that. That's not a real game. Fuck that game.
That's the best game ever. Okay.
But no, with this game, I would say I really like this version, so I'm going to go 4.25 tokens, probably. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I played a lot of Atari 8-bit, and I'm going to say for the platform, this is a poor game based on what the Atari 8-bit is capable of. Okay. Even though, remember, I said I think it's the most playable of the 3 in terms of playability. It doesn't reflect the capabilities of the platform. It could have been so much better. It may have been, I don't know why. Maybe they took an existing engine, but I'm going to give it 2.5 tokens out of 5 on the 8-bit. I'm not at all wowed by it.
Yeah, like the 2600, you scored high. I scored in the middle. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not wowed by this. All right, so let's get to the arcade then. So looking at the arcade, with 24 credits I have remaining in that. So what would you give this as a game?
I mean, again, I'm not playing it. You're playing it, so it's a little bit hard to
understood.
But just on the visual aspects and considering the year 1982 when this came out, I'd probably go 3.5, maybe 3.75 tokens.
Okay,
somewhere in that area.
Yeah, I'm probably right with. The punishing difficulty is a down for me. If I was just basing it on the quality of what it looks like, it's very repetitive. I'd probably give it 3.5, but just on the punishing kind of. you're dead, you're dead, you're dead kind of quarter sucking aspect of it. I'm gonna go. I'll go 3. I'll go 3. It looks great, so I'll go 3 tokens out of 5. So
Okay.
yeah.
So it looks like Krillian64 is saying that he see people in Twitch streams having talk about YouTube being down. Also, a bigger YouTuber tweeting not being able to upload a video on it right now.
Man,
well, we're still going strong. So
we had a hell. I think this is a good time to get out before it breaks. Maybe we should duck out while it's still working and we have a cohesive live stream.
Fair enough.
I mean, YouTube had a bad failure less than a month ago or so, wasn't it? Like they made every news outlet. So this was a lot of fun. Everybody who joined in, thanks for hanging out with us. Take a look at some Buck Rogers. We'll do some more of this and in this format, I guarantee, because this is a lot of fun for me. George said he enjoyed it. We did one with Mo the other night. George, thank you for being here and being our manager of
thank you very much.
Viewer relations.
I'll look for my squat and a half check.
Squat and a half. I'm going to PayPal it right now. Squat and a half coming your way.
Sweet.
And viewers, thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Don't you know that you're a grown-up?
Subscribe to Gen X Grown Up by clicking right here and enable notifications so you won't miss a thing. Use the comments down below to tell us what you think, and while you're there, a thumbs up would be great too. Please share this online wherever you hang out. Connect with GXG on social networks by clicking right here.
Basically, life sucks.